Hey everybody, my name is Dan Clark and I want to thank you for coming to my YouTube channel today, Life After Religion. And as many of you know, I was a Jehovah's Witness for 40 years and I've been out 22 years, and I make videos regarding the governing body and the society on the falsehoods that they try to hold people under, the hypnosis, the spiritual hypnosis. We also do lots of interviews with witnesses who have left to help them get a voice, to help them be validated, to help them get heard. And we put these out on this channel. So if you'd ever like to speak, or you've got a story to share about the Watchtower and your life in it, and how you got out, and how you decided it wasn't for you, we'd like to share your story on this channel even. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button. You'll be the first to get these videos of ones that I'm making like here. Today, I want to talk about the governing body, because it doesn't matter where I turn today, it doesn't matter where I look, the governing body is spewing hate toward those who left. It doesn't matter. I can look at Lloyd Evans' channel, I can look at Mike and Kim's, I can go on Rick Farron, and there you got Anthony Morris saying, you know, calling people maggots. You know, people that have left are maggots. And you know what Jehovah feels about maggots, and you know, won't you be glad when they're all dead? And it's not only him, it's Stephen Lett, it's all of them. It's a convention. It's becoming a major deal. So the question that arose in my mind is why? Why the scriptural death threats? I swear, they use this Bible like a sorcerer's wand. You know, they're just looking in it everywhere. You know, Jehovah says they're maggots. You know, Jehovah says they're going to die. Jehovah says throw them out on their head. Jehovah says kill every last one of them. I mean, you wonder why when people leave, they don't want anything to do with this, why they put this aside for years. It's because they've been beaten with it. They've been beaten over the head. Just like the false prophets in Jesus' time. What did they do? They came out with a Bible. Jesus, you know, you're not supposed to do this on the Sabbath. Jesus, you're not supposed to do that. Jesus, and Jesus said the letter kills. The letter kills when you use it like that. When you use it as a sorcerer's wand to beat people, to keep people in mind control. That's what this book has done. This book had me in mind control for 40 years. 40 years. And so you wonder, why is governing body taking this and just whipping out scriptures and, you know, threatening the congregation? Don't listen to the apostates. Jehovah said, don't do this. Jehovah said, don't do that. Jehovah said, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. I mean, that's the message. That's the only message in here. That's really the only message. You're going to die if you leave Jehovah's Witnesses. You're going to die if you leave the organization. Well, the real problem governing body is mad is because they're taking this personally. Anthony Morris, Stephen Lett, all those guys are taking this personally. This isn't between us and Jehovah and protecting the other sheep. This is about control. This is about them controlling you. This has nothing to do with Jehovah. This is about them losing their authority. And if you think about it, and I've got a couple notes here, but if you think about what we had to do to become a Jehovah's Witness, you remember what we had to do? We had to make a declaration. And you know what that declaration was? That we were under the authority of governing body exclusively, 100%, without question, without anything. 100% obedient, 100% authority. We said this, and they demanded we say it. In order to gain entry into the Kingdom Hall, we had to say, this is God's visible organization on earth. And the faithful and discreet slave are the governing body that Jesus gives us our spiritual food at the proper time. So Jesus said, I put them over all my belongings. That's what they told us, right? That Jesus put governing body over all his belongings. And so he gives the spiritual food to them, and then they give it to us at the proper time. And so what did we do? We said, yes, okay, we'll say that. And so before 2 or 3 elders, we made that declaration. And when we made that declaration, that oath, they looked us in the eyes. Those elders looked us in the eyes. And they said, okay, I believe you believe that. And okay, I'm going to send you on to the next elder. And we went to the next elder. Yes, this is God's organization on earth. It's his only organization. It's who Jesus gives the spiritual food. We all said it over and over and over until the elders were thoroughly convinced, right? And so what did we do? We bought in 100%. We got in there. They told us we had to go door to door without complaining, without questioning. We ate all the spiritual food that we felt was coming from Jesus, right? And we ate all the Watchtower articles. Every week, we ate up articles in the Watchtower, the Awake, the publications. We gobbled them down without question, without even checking our inner knower to say, is what we're doing right or wrong? We ate and we ate and we ate and we ate. What else did we do? We gave service. We gave 100% obedience to service. We gave everything to them. We gave them our heart, our mind, our soul, our life. And I wrote down a few things. We gave up our higher education. We gave up our schooling. You know, I know a whole lot of people now wish they had went to school and got educated and maybe got a better job. I'm not saying that's the way to a better job, but they didn't really have a choice. You know, higher education was using the world to the full. And the world belonged to Satan, so you didn't want to do that. You wanted to go to Bethel, and you wanted to do that. You wanted to give your life to Jehovah, so you forsook your education. You might have gave up jobs. I don't know how many jobs I gave up because they told me it was interfering with my field service on Saturday morning, that I wasn't giving Jehovah my best. So I gave up job after job. People were like, what are you doing? You just gave up a wonderful job. What's happening? Jehovah's got to come first. That's what the society said. The governing body said. Jesus said. And then, to make it worse than that, we gave up our families. Think about that. We gave up the holiday. We gave up the Thanksgiving dinner with Grandma. The only time we got together, you know, and had a dinner together and watched some football and all of that. We said, okay, yeah, we'll give that up too. And then we gave up our literature. We gave up movies. We gave up art. We gave everything. And I think this is where I get, you know, pissed off. How dare governing body question me about who I am? I need to be questioning them about who they are. You know, I did my part. We did our part. As witnesses, we did our part. All of us. We were indoctrinated in. We gave them everything. Our whole lives were on hold, right? But what happened? What happened? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. The great timekeeper, which I call the great record keeper, the great timekeeper spoke. Now, here's what I mean. Say somebody comes along and they say, you know, Dan, I got an investment I want you to invest in. And you say, okay. Now, they know more than you, right? The witnesses know more than you, right? And you say, okay. And they say, we just need, you know, 10,000 of your dollars and we're going to invest it. And within 6 months or a year, you're going to get a return on it that's X amount. It's going to be 100%. And you go, okay. And so right now, time is on their side. Just like when Watchtower made the proclamation that in 1975 it would be over, right? 6,000 years since the world beginning till that. They had it all scripturally, the formula all figured out. They had time on their side, but time is a record keeper. So what happens to the investment? 6 months goes by, a year goes by, and you look at your investment and it's dwindled. It's actually went to nothing. You found out the stock wasn't worth the paper it was written on. Well, what happens? Do you keep going? Do you question? Do you let the stockkeeper say, "Oh, don't worry about that. Don't look at that. So what if you lost your money? So what? Don't look at that. We got a better stock coming up." Now, you may do that a second time. You may say, you know, I'll trust you one more. He's like, "Oh God, you know that stock." We don't know what happened, but don't worry about that one. We got new stock, right? And so you say, all right, I'll do it one more time, and then bam, you know, the same thing happens. Well, this is what happened with Watchtower, right? time had passed, right? 75 passed, right? Which is a long time ago now. But that passed, but a lot of people had their lives on hold. A lot of people were invested 100% in the congregation. They didn't get the schooling. They didn't put aside the money. They may even gave Watchtower their houses. They pushed out their families. They did all the things Watchtower said. But the record keeper said false. The record speaker spoke. Not Dan, not Lloyd Evans, not Rick Fearon, not Mike and Kim, or whoever is out there talking about these things. That isn't what spoke. Time spoke. Time revealed them to be false prophets. Just like your stock. Did it make money or did it not make money? It didn't make money. So the broker that sold you it was inaccurate. You could say he's a liar, he made a mistake or whatever, but here's the problem. So that happens, right? So the 75 thing happens and it passes. And you kind of like, what happened? What went on? But right away, before you know it, they said Jehovah's given us new light, right? So you're not even thinking about the stock. You're not even thinking about the investment that you put your whole life on hold in 75. You're thinking about the new one. They got you going on the new one, the generation prophecy. 70 or 80 years, they give you a new formula, right? And it's in here, a new formula. Jehovah's given us new light. Let's find out where it's at. It's in Ezekiel or Daniel or somewhere in there. And, the tree was bound so many times, and this was bound, and the banding and all that, 77 times this and that, and bam, 70 or 80 years from 1914, the end's going to come. And that is the generation prophecy. And the end's going to come, and it's in harmony with Matthew 21. This generation will by no means pass away till all these things occur, right? And so you go, okay, so you push out the bad investment, 1975, and now you're into the new investment, the generation prophecy. And sure enough, 80s, 90s, it starts getting in that time where, I don't see anything changing. My investments aren't going up. They're not coming true. Well, all of a sudden we start coming out of the generation prophecy, the 70 or 80 years from 1914, which would lead us up into the 80s, 90s, early 90s at the latest. And so what does Watchtower do? Well, they don't apologize, do they? They don't do anything. They come up with another equation, another formula. Well, let's go back in here. We got to stay in the Word, brothers. We got to stay in this. We got to see what Jehovah says. He's speaking directly to us, through Jesus. We're the faithful slaves, so let's see what it says now. And so they come up with the overlapping generation. Isn't that crazy? And it goes on, guys. It don't stop. But here's the thing. What happens with us is our BS meter goes off. What is our BS meter? Well, we have an inner GPS where we know when somebody's screwing us. It's called a bullshit meter. We know when somebody's screwing us. And so what happens is it goes off. It goes off. And we say, well, wait a minute. I want some answers here. I was waiting in 75. I lost my childhood. I lost all my sports. I lost all my dating. I lost all my this, all my friends. Even some of my family went out. Can you guys give me any accountability? Can you do anything? Can you say anything? Yeah, we can say one thing, Dan. You're a bad person. You're a horrible person. You're an apostate. We're going to have to put you on apostate watch. Whoa. So think about this. Did they come forward with the truth? Are these real truthful men? See, here's my question. Who are they? Who is Governing Body? Who are these guys? They're liars. They're liars. Did they come forth and say, we got it wrong? Did they even say, sorry, we gave you... They never even apologize, guys. Guys, your family, I want you to think about this. Your family put their life on hold, and yours too. Yours too. In 75, in the generation, in the overlapping generation, they put your life on hold. And they're still asking. And now think about this. The prophecy passes, this passes. They don't say anything. What do they say? They do say something. They say anybody who gets a bad attitude is an apostate. And they also say I forgot my thought. But anyway, what's interesting is no remorse. What's interesting is there's no consequences for Governing Body. They truly are playing God. They're playing God. We don't have to account to anybody. God, it reminds me of the Wizard of Oz. You know, the guy behind the screen. We don't account to anybody. We are God. No remorse. No remorse. Your parents might have gave their house to Watchtower in 75 generation, thinking it was all going to be over. We should all be building houses right now. Well, they became false prophets. And the reason they're mad are people are starting not to listen to them. People are starting not to pay attention to them. They're saying, no, we had enough. We had enough. We've given too much. We've done our part. And so, anyway, let's see what else I got here. So again, we've done our part. And here's the other thing, too, guys, that makes it worse. This is really, really bad. Not only have they lied to us and lied to us, and false prophesied again, and false prophesied again. And I'm just talking from 75 generation over that, up to our day. I'm not even talking about before that, 45. I mean, I don't even know them all going back. It goes back over 100 years of no apologies, no remorse, no coming alongside saying, I'm so sorry that you put your life on hold. Now, here's what's worse. You and me, we're in there, right? We were in there, and what did they tell us about TV evangelists? What did they tell you about Babylon the Great, the world empire of false religion? TV evangelism, the world of false religion, Babylon the Great, the harlot on the beast's back, and blah, 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 right? Well, they've become that. It's so interesting. Can you believe that we heard that, and now we're watching them build a media center that's going to be as big as Disney, a media center, to beat the shit out of people more with this Bible, to keep them indoctrinated? I was watching a video on jw.org, and they were talking about the guy who was setting up the media center, and he goes, we're going to make this book come to life. We're going to put full immersion in. What do you mean full immersion? We're going to make them think about it. We're going to scare the pants out of them. What else has Watchtower been doing all this time? They've been scaring the hell out of people, right? The assemblies. Don't go into town. Don't go into town. Well, Zimri decided to go into town. And then bam, boom, bing, bang, everything was destroyed. They were destroyed, and they did not return safe. So never leave Jehovah. Fear, fear, fear. Don't leave Jehovah. Don't leave the organization. Don't leave the authority of governing body. Do not leave us. We'll tear you to shreds. So I find it interesting that they're building a media center, a huge, massive media center, a couple of them around the world so they can broadcast. TV evangelists broadcast, cast spells on everybody out there. That's what they want to do. It works. The dramas worked. They scared the hell out of people. That's why I can remember the dramas till this day. All the microphones all around, the dress, the garbs. They're going to do it again on a bigger scale. That's why they're going to media. They're copying the TV evangelists. They've become TV evangelists. Okay, so that's one thing. There's another thing they said. They said they weren't going to forsake the gathering of ourselves together. Do you remember them saying we're the only ones that are going to be standing? We'll be knocking at the door, and Jehovah's going to come in, and it's like putting a finger in Jehovah's eyeball, and he's going to kill everybody because we're out there knocking on the doors no matter what government says, no matter what the authority says, we're going to be preaching and bullshit. That's BS. They have stopped preaching. Internet, garbage. Zoom meetings. Are you kidding me? You're selling off halls as fast as you can, governing body. It's sickening. And what's sad is these kingdom halls were built by good-hearted brothers and sisters all through the night. 2-day kingdom halls, putting them up one after another after another. I mean, this is sickening. And then dedicating them to Jehovah. You guys are sick. I mean, think about this. Then, you'll disfellowship a person. I heard a thing on 6 Screens the other night. It said that a person got disfellowshipped because they went to a church and asked for food. And Watchtower selling kingdom halls to churches. Not just one, hundreds of them. To churches, so they can start service tomorrow. Look, our brothers built them for you with a sweat of their hands. Worked all night, ate cookies and donuts. Sisters put on meals, came in at 2, 3 in the morning to build these halls from the goodness of our heart, only for them to be given away. And I can't help but think of the brothers who gave hard-earned money that says, hey, I want to give you, $100,000 on this to pay this Kingdom Hall off. It was snatched from those brothers, making them drive 40 miles, 50 miles to a Kingdom Hall, to a place of worship. Why would they do that? Well, who are these governing bodies? Who are they? When we think about what person would do that? Sell your worship place to a church. You can't go to a funeral. You can't go to a wedding. But we can sell it to a church. We can sell it to a church. Who are these governing body? They're gods. They think they're gods. They're playing God. They've been in the God position too long. They've been in that position too long. They really think they're gods. And now they're wielding death threats to people who leave. You're maggots. I'll be glad when you're all dead. I mean, they're all doing it. It's not just one of them. They're all doing it. They're threatening the congregation. They're digging this thing and finding every scripture they can to call somebody a name. Oh, Jehovah hates this. Jehovah said, the poor. Anthony Morris did a talk, and I saw it on 6 screens. It was a clip. And he said, the poor don't even have an excuse not to give. The poor have to give. Remember the lady who gave $1, gave all she had. So there's no excuse. Poverty is not an excuse not to give. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Now that was the third point I was gonna bring out. That the Watchtower said we didn't pass the plate. Think about that. You remember when we were in, that was Babylon the Great. The TV evangelists were Babylon the Great. Everything was Babylon the Great but them. But now they're the TV evangelists. Now, you can't go on jw.org without seeing them beg. And not only beg, hammer. And once again, using this Bible, the New World Translation of the Holy Scriptures, their silver sword, to poke holes in them, to whack their heads off if they don't give. I watched Anthony Morris go through this Bible and just beat people. Don't come to Jehovah empty-handed. There's no excuse for the poor. There's no this. He couldn't even look at him. He was looking down like this. Shame on you, Anthony Morris. Shame on you. Wielding this Bible, using this Bible as a tool to beat the hell out of the Jehovah's Witness, to shame and fear the brothers, fear Jehovah, fear us, fear ever leaving. I mean, you have used this Bible in the hands of a false prophet is a deadly weapon. And these are false prophets. These are false prophets. So anyway, let me get back on track. So they said they never beg. Well, just turn on any of the jw.org and watch them talk about giving money. Give it this way. Give it that way. Let us come out to your house. Let us get you on automatic tithing. Let us do this. Who is governing body is the question. Who are these freaks? Who is governing body? Who's been running our lives? Who do we give our obligation to? Who do we say we'll give 100% loyalty to? It wasn't Jehovah. It was man. And we got beat by man. So anyway, let's see what else I got here. So anyway, I just want to end it like this. I just want to say, who is the governing body? Who are these men? I want to tell you what they are. They're heartless, dictators, and narcissists. They're heartless, they're dictators, and they're narcissists. And they don't explain anything to anybody. And the other thing is, they can't stand anybody leaving. Because you know why? They're ruthless slave owners. They're ruthless slave owners. We were good for nothing slave. Anybody who's a witness, don't question me on that, but anybody who's a witness, we're known to be good for nothing slave. We had Watchtower articles on it. We called ourselves good for nothing slaves. And what we're doing, we should be doing. They took it literal. We were their slaves. And so, as you know, as you've watched movies with regard to race and stuff, a slave owner gets very angry when his slaves are disobedient and they decide to runaway slave. That's what apostate means, by the way, runaway slave. So they get very angry when they lose a slave. So what are they doing right now? They're like a beehive. They're like a beehive, like a hornet's nest. Apostates, apostates, apostates. You brothers don't listen to apostates. You brothers stay off those apostate channels. You brothers stay away from those runaway slaves. I mean, it is crazy. I mean, I have never seen anything like it, and it's getting more so. So what's happening is they're losing their control. And so, anyway, I just want to say this to governing body. You know, governing body, time has spoken. Not Dan. Time has revealed you as false prophets. And you're still doing it. You still won't repent. You still won't turn around. Do you know why you won't? I'm going to tell you why you won't, and maybe you can reflect on it. The reason you won't turn around is you choose a job over truth. You choose mammon over truth. You won't choose truth for truth. And us people who left went out for truth. We wanted truth. We were tired of listening to your lies. We were tired of your false prophecies. And now look at you, reeling back in all your literature. Bring the literature back in, everybody. Bring the literature back in. Let's dispose of it quickly. You cannot erase your record. Time has caught up with you. The timekeeper has spoken. Your time has run out. Your time has run out. That's an affirmation. Your time has run out. You're false prophets. You don't enter in, and neither do the people who follow you. And those people who follow you now, when they become awake, if they continue to go along with you, they are partners in crime, if you will. They're co-workers with false prophets. They know the record's out there. The record is there for everybody to see. You guys are false prophets. You're whitewashed graves. You're hypocrites. You're offspring of viper. That's what you are. But here I want to tell you this. You don't have to stay that. All you have to do is turn around and say, I don't want this anymore. You can leave too. You can leave this watchtower. But you know, the problem is ego. You're so much in your ego. You're so much in your head. You've been worshipped so long. It's hard to step down from that. When you got all these people, millions of people following you, you just wave your hand. You just say, come to the assembly, and they run to the assemblies and feed on all your literature, your recalled literature. I mean, think about that. That's hard to give up. But if you give that up, you can actually return to the Father. You can actually come back home to the Father. And the Father says, if you come back home, everything I have is yours. Everything I have is yours. All of us are called to turn around, to leave things. But we don't want to leave this. This is too smart. You think you can outsmart God? You think you can false prophesy after false prophesy and nobody's going to start waking up? God built us with mechanisms inside that speak to us, that say this is wrong. What they're doing is wrong. What governing body's doing is wrong. And I'm just sad, you know. My mother, I told you guys, died in there. My dad died in there of shame. My mother died in there fearful of Jehovah because she didn't go out in service enough. I mean, the fear that you've wielded over us, the false prophecies, all the literature that you've given us, even that, I gotta speak to that a little bit, the literature. Now, you guys say, the governing body says they hear from Jesus, right? Jesus has appointed governing body over all his belongings. So you telling us that you channel Jesus. You channel Jesus and put it into literature. So we have been reading and feeding on your channeled literature, and now you're recalling it all. How could it ever been Jesus? How could it ever been Jehovah? So no wonder you guys are angry. But instead of being angry at yourself and saying it's us, and saying it's me, and saying it's these other people out there that are talking about the truth to try to get people out of there so they can really find out who God is and who they are. See, we can't get rid of this. We can never find ourselves as long as we're in there, totally enmeshed in garbage and lies and Hypnosis. I'm going to call it even hypnosis. But you guys said you channeled Jesus. Why was it garbage? Why is what was spiritual food now thrown away? Was it really spiritual food? Was it really good? Was it really for our benefit? Was it at the proper time? You guys don't care less. Do you know why? Because you're building properties, you're selling properties. You don't give a damn about the people. You don't care who comes or goes. You don't care. You've got enough property now, and it is a race to build this media center so you can indoctrinate more people and bring them in. Anyway, guys, that's all my rant is today. I'm just ranting to the governing body to stop what they're doing, to stop being whitewashed graves, to come out from her. Watchtower, come out from Babylon the Great if you don't want to suffer. And that's what's happening. You're suffering, and people are suffering because they're a part of this cult, because they're a part of this falsehood. That's why you've sold your homes. That's why you've put your life on hold. It's time to wake up. It's time to say, I'm done. I'm done with Watchtower. You don't have to be afraid of Watchtower. The Bible says if anyone prophesies and it doesn't come true, do not fear these ones. Do not fear them. We don't have to fear them. Even you governing body, you don't have to fear Watchtower. You could turn around and come out of there too, and I'm inviting you too. I am inviting governing body, the members, to turn around. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your life. How can you feel good about lying to your followers? How can you feel good about lying to me? How can you feel good about lying to my family? How can you feel good about lying to millions of people? You can't. You can't. You're eating crumbs. You think you're up there in Brooklyn or wherever you're at up there in New York. You're eating crumbs. You don't even know what the good life is. You're eating Watchtower crumbs. Getting a little pat on the back from daddy governing body. Patting each other on the back. Wielding it around. You ought to be ashamed. You ought to be ashamed. That's what Jesus spoke about. So anyway, I'm going to end it here, guys. Pass this video on. Share this video. Let people know what's going on. Send it to everybody you can. And please subscribe to the page, because if you subscribe, it gives it more boost. It gives it more distance. The videos can travel. They can't travel if there's a smaller group. So I'm asking everybody to please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. It's just subscribe means you'll get the video. When I'm done with the video, it'll pop up. But please subscribe and please pass it on. Let's wake people up to the truth. Let's tell them what we've went through. Let's tell them what our families went through. Let's tell them the crap that we've went through. We don't, the second part of our life doesn't have to be like the first part of our life. The second part of our life can be the best life. And here's a promise, and it's in the Bible. But it said God, or the Spirit of truth, will give you and me back what the locusts have eaten. What the locusts do is come in and demolish a field and they eat up everything. Well, that's kind of our lives when we were in Watchtower. We gave up everything, right? The locusts came in and demolished all of our good, all of our talents, all the gifts that we have. We don't even know who we are. We don't know what our gifts are. We don't know how we're supposed to be in this world. And it's kind of gobbled it up. But the Bible said, if we turn back to God, to truth, it will give us back what the locusts have eaten. And I have found that to be true. And my wife have found that to be true. I have a wonderful wife. I have a wonderful life. And I'm really appreciated. But I'm also very passionate about this message, that people know what's going on, because the governing body are like mad sorcerers. See, they have played source for a long time, right? They're the medium, they're the mediator, the sorcerer between us and Jehovah. They're the source. People go to sorcerers to get answers, right? They were our answer. They were our spiritual food. They were our everything. And so they're not anymore. So we want to tell people, we want to pass it on, that they don't have to have Watchtower as their sorcerers. They don't have to have Watchtower as their mediums, you know, because they became mediums. And they don't have to be beat up. We don't have to allow them to be beat up by angry sorcerers. Governing body are a bunch of angry sorcerers, and you don't have to be under that regiment. The only reason they can beat you is because you're there. And the Bible says, get out. Get out if you don't want to suffer. Right now, they're trying to con you out of your money. They're asking for money any way they can get it. They're trying to con you out of your homes, your motor homes, anything they can get, anything. They're scrapping. They're going for anything. Get out. That's what the Bible says. Get out. And if we do, we won't be under these wicked sorcerers. We won't be under these mad slave owners that have lost their hold on us. Get out. Get out. There's time, and there's time for you to live the second part of your life without Watchtower hypnosis, without angry men telling you what you're doing or what you're not doing. You're not doing enough. There's time to find you and to find your life again. So anyway, guys, that's it. I just want to say God bless you. Thank you for letting me rant. Thank you for letting me get emotional. It hurts when I know my family have given it all up and they've died in that organization. I've got brothers still in there. I got an older brother still in there. And my heart goes out to him. And I know Watchtower's working on him. He's got some properties and homes and whatever, right? I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. But we've been told the record's clear. The record has spoken. Time has spoken. Everything is screaming out. Everything is screaming out. Get out. Get out now. And while there's time, before you lose everything, before Watchtower tries to, get your mother's estate, whatever it is, start thinking. Start asking God, wake me up, open my eyes, get out. Get out from Babylon the Great. Get out from this organization. It's a 501c3, just like all the other religions, and tied in with the government. So anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you. And again, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and please pass on the video. That's what's most important to me, that this video will get out there into the hands of the people who need to hear it, and they see courage, and they see strength, and they see truth. And the truth will set you free. And it's from my heart to your hearts that this truth that I've lived, and that's why I can speak it, because I've lived it, breathed it, and I've escaped from it. So I can speak that truth. So that is what everyone needs to hear. They need that truth that comes from the heart, not from the mind control, false prophet, governing body, okay? All right, thank you so much for listening, and have a great week. It's Monday, and I hope you guys have an awesome week, and God bless you all. Thank you.